He's going to be leaning on that Hangtown expertise all day long if he wants to make up any points on Jet Lawrence.
Good math and well played on the numbers game, JT. Yes, he was fastest qualifier, but he did it in the first session. He was not fastest in the second, so we'll have to see how that turns out for the 32. Now time for the Ktm Keys to the Moto. It's pretty simple at this track, Brock. What do you need to do?
Get a good start.
That's
That's it right there. And then obviously beat the Lawrence brothers. And we'll see what happens. And Justin Cooper is a great starter.
Yes, he is a great starter, and that's literally what the team said. Jeremy Coker, the team manager for Cooper over there at the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team, said we have to beat Jet in at least one moto today. 32 points, already a big hole. They cannot afford to make it worse.
And then going to round two being 32 points in the hole is just, that's terrible.
You can see, look at the front number plate of the 47 of Seth Hamaker. There was a little bit of rain dropping here about 10 minutes ago, and you can see a little bit of mud on the front of that, so that might change things a little bit.
Yeah, somebody got a little roost on his number plate there, maybe the parade lap, but the point is right now that number one right next door there with the number red background, that's the one that counts, and we got the 30-second card up already.
Oh, we are ready. Yes, Fly Racing 30-second card is up. We're ready. It'll be a 30-minute race plus 2 laps, 40 riders on the gate. We'll have 4 straight hours of live motocross coverage coming your way here on MAV TV. This is 250 Moto 1. Next hour, we'll have our 450 class. Yep, can anybody stop the Lawrence brothers? That's the name of the game after they went 1-2 at the first race of the year. 10 seconds away from gate drop. Here it is, revs are up. Gates down. And it's one of the Yamahas, is that Justin Cooper. Oh, you said he's a good starter. This is exactly what he needed. And he's got the 31. How about that? Right with him, Jalek Swoll. It was a game-time decision if he'd even be able to race after a crash last week. He's right with him. Jet Lawrence battling around 4th place.
Yeah, that's just the start Justin Cooper needed. And again, he's known for that, and no question about it. And Jalek Swoll, he finds himself in a little better position than he was. But in 3rd place right now, number 29, Michael Moseman, local boy from up Northern California.
Yeah, Moseman almost came together with Jet Lawrence. That pushed Jet Lawrence back. A couple of riders like Hamaker there in the 47 also getting around. Hamaker, a big surprise. Real speed last week, and he's in it today, Brock.
He is, absolutely. And yeah, the fastest qualifier last week was surprised most of the field to lead off the season with that. And he's right up front again.
Okay, so let's see what Swoll can do coming back from injury. Got landed on in a crash early in our first moto last week. Talk about Moseman there in the 29. This is his home track. He's comfortable. This is the opportunity these riders need to try to get points back on the Honda band, who've got some work to do. Hunter Lawrence is 9th. Jet is 7th.
Yeah, the Lawrence brothers didn't quite get the starts they did last week, but Hunter Lawrence, that's one thing he's going to have to improve on over the season there. He's just, come around at 9th, 10th, 7th. That's not going to cut it. You're going to need to get some hole shots.
Okay, so Justin Cooper under fire here. He's got Swoll with him, and now nice move on the inside here by Moseman.
Yeah, Moseman, he's definitely running hard right here, and he knows this terrain. He knows the track very, very well. A little patience is not a bad thing early in a moto. You definitely don't need to run into the back of another rider and go down. Going on the ground, you can throw the whole race away on the very first lap.
Okay, so we'll see how he plays it. Swoll still there in 2nd on the Rockstar Husqvarna. Moseman, that's a new section.
Absolutely, yep. That's a new section that they've during the week, they talked about trying to really target that 2-minute lap time. That's the ultimate number that they're looking for just for the whole layout. The AMA Pro Motocross officials were looking for that 2-minute number, and they figured a way right there just to cut a section out of the track, get it at that 2-minute number.
And added a new jump in there as well. So great battle between Swoll and Moseman here at the end of lap 1, with Hamaker right there with him. And then you see Nick Romano, a rookie, is 5th. Jet Lawrence right behind him.
I'll bet Nick Morano is able to actually take a breath this time. Last week with second moto, he got the whole shot in his first pro race ever. And, he was a Team Dunlop Elite rider, so I actually got to watch him come up from literally the 50cc bikes all the way to turn pro last week. So it's very fun having worked at Dunlop so long, and it was fun to watch. Ooh, a little contact, good pass by Moseman there.
Almost.
See, almost. Now he's opening the door for Hammaker. He's going to have to be careful not to let Seth get by him here, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, that was tough on the off-camber. Swoll lost the back end for a minute, and that's going to give Moseman an opening.
Oh,
wow. What happened there?
He just nailed that outside rut. It had a little hook in the end, and suspension bottomed out, recoiled, and boy, you saw him shoot all the way across the track. Both he and Hammaker are lucky they weren't a little closer. That could have collected them both.
And as they slowed each other up, you can see Romano and both Lawrences right there as well. As we watch Swoll, we'll go back and show you hard exit into this corner. Watch on the lower left side.
Yeah, you can see right here Michael Moseman knew there was the outside berm there, but it looked like it maybe was pushed further deep into the ground there than he expected. Hooked him back across the track. Just about took each other out.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, luckily you escaped there. So that allows Swole to hold on to that number 2 spot. Moseman trying to come back after him. It's fantastic racing. And you can see the wind has picked up here. Yeah, the dust being blown across.
Yeah, we have rain in the forecast for tomorrow, and right now I think there's a little bit of a front moving in, so we're starting to get some wind across these plains in the eastern side of Sacramento, and this could play a factor.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's temporarily settled down behind them. You had Moseman and Hammacker almost together. Put a few bike lengths between Moseman and Hammacker now. Gotta give credit to Jalek Swole. Crashed out of last week's race. A couple of days ago, they weren't even sure if he could ride. And not only is he riding, but he's in second place.
And not only in second place, but he's keeping Justin Cooper, who's got a lot of speed, as we all talk about. He's keeping within a few seconds here. And Michael Moseman, again, we talked about local rider. He knows how to get around this track. He knows where to pass and where not to. And Jalek is just doing a great job keeping him behind him.
Well, yeah, Moseman's taking a few shots at it. A couple of times we thought he had the pass made, and then the lines come together.
They do, no question about it. So as early part, that's the one thing you find a little bit in the early part of the first motos. Not all the ruts and the lines have developed, so the track gets to be a little bit more one line as the day develops on. You know, they'll get more lines. But here we see Jet Lawrence, and we get a little rain on the camera lens there.
Yeah, and Ryder's going to have to deal with that. So now Romano, the rookie out of New York, on the 411, dealing with Jet Lawrence. This would be for 5th and 6th. And then there's Hunter Lawrence right there behind him. Also on the Team Honda HRC machine. Behind them, you got Hampshire, Drake, and the other local boy, Max Folan, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, this whole group of riders here in the top 10 are honestly within the same maybe 4-second range, 5-second range. So, and this is just what Hunter probably honestly needed. I mean, Hunter knows Jet very well. He's comfortable riding with him, I'm sure. And this is right here ahead of Romano's holding up Jet just enough to let Hunter catch up and get on the back fender of his brother.
Now Jet makes the move here, scrubbing that jump, and gets around Romano. That'll move him into 5th, right behind Hammaker. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas. We've got a lot of historic figures here at Hangtown today, JT.
Now I am with a true master of all things motorcycling. Steve Wise, you've won on just about every kind of motorcycle there is, and you're here celebrating the 50th anniversary of American Motocross. We're really happy to have you here. What do you think so far?
Well, I think it's great. You know, it's neat to see how motorcycle racing and motocross has really grown and expanded in the world. And seeing this facility is just unbelievable and beautiful. So it's great to be here.
Yeah, we're thankful. I mean, this is a great day. We're getting a little rain here, but talk about how much has changed since your time. You know, the sport keeps evolving. These guys keep getting better and better. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Well, of course, the motorcycles have made tremendous advancement. But the thing that I don't like is I've gone to 30-minute motos, and we used to ride 45-minute motos. So 30 minutes it would have been a lot better for me. But anyway, it's great. It's just great to see how the sport has grown, and not only just in the motorcycle world, but all over the world as far as every other facility and things like that.
That was just fantastic interview. Great to see Steve Wise come out from Texas here. Steve was a good rider in the 70s in nationals. I raced with him many, many times. After he got done with his motocross career, he transferred over to Class C, as we called it, where road racing, dirt track area. And he was the only rider, I think, in American history to ever win a motocross, AMA Pro motocross race and an American road race.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, the versatility. That's really what stakes his claim when you think about the history of the sport. Good to have some dignitaries like that on hand. We switched to today's stars. Seth Hamaker making a name for himself. Believe it or not, it's only the 5th pro motocross race for Hamaker, who's been beset by injuries and illness in the last 2 summers. But he's riding like a veteran right now. Oh, hey, Romano, he had to deal with Jet Lawrence, and Hunter doesn't want to mess around. He wants to follow his brother through, so here's your battle.
And you know, you talk about this, you know, Jason, right here, you see Romano, we saw him last week get the whole shot, but it wasn't too long until he started moving back. He's stepped up one more level or one more gear right here this week to me, and he's keeping these top 2 contenders at bay, and he's riding really well.
And they've also got RJ Hampshire in the mix now in 8th to see him. Oh, and Jet looking for an opening on Hammaker, almost ran into the back of him.
Yep, we're starting to see those ruts develop, as you can see on camera right now.
There goes Hunter.
Yep.
So Hunter made the move. These downhills are key. and that's where he made the pass.
Yep, carry a lot of momentum down there. The first thing your brain's telling you to shut off, but the more you shut off, the more weight shifted to the front of the motorcycle. It actually almost makes it worse. If you can keep yourself on a little bit of throttle, even maybe drag the rear brake a little bit, you can keep the bike going straight and not battling the edges of the ruts.
That's good stuff, Brock. And I'll tell you one guy who's got it dialed, Justin Cooper, is now starting to pull away. And it started here. Hey, what'd you say the Ktm Keys of the Moto was?
Get the whole shot.
Yep. So here it is, our motosport.com whole shot replay. And this is how Justin Cooper made it happen. Looks like it's going to be Drake on the inside of one of those Suzukis at first. But then Cooper was able to get it done. Swole right there. Almost edged him out.
Yep. Hats off to the crew. I mean, that's a newly designed first corner, meaning it was pulled in a little bit, probably 10, 15 feet on the inside, just to change it, decrease the radius a little bit, let the riders flow through there, and then it keeps the crashes down to a minimum.
Yeah, we were clean through that first turn there. Battle for second has not changed. As we check it out, it's still Swole, and Moseman still trying to figure out a way around.
I think Moseman's saying, hey, Jalik, don't you know I'm a local guy here? You're supposed to not be holding me off this well. But, hey, Jalik from Florida, and he's riding this place like he's born and raised here.
Yeah, so good comeback for Jalik. The problem is, as they battle, you can see Cooper's getting away.
Yeah, it's just sneaking away just a bit, but it's not as much as I actually expected. It's only just now a 3-second lead, but it almost looks like it's come down a little bit from that. That was the time that we see coming past this, start-finish line here.
Yeah, it's not like then Swole is holding everybody up. He is holding his own against the pace of your leader, Cooper. And Moseman is trying everything, man. He's been outside, inside, all over this place to make the move.
He's throwing the kitchen sink at him, no question about it. And this little roller section right here, he looked like he had a little bit of pace there, but he just ran out of it before the corner, and you can't push it. He's got to stay on the track and stay on his bike.
Let's get an update on the 31 Swole. We got his team manager up in the tower with Jason Thomas.
Really tough weekend last year, and nice bounce back so far, right? Gets a great start, running out front. I didn't even know if he was going to race today. This has to be a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, last weekend was a tough one, first moto to go down, and, he rehabbed it this week with Dr. Nick, and, he's feeling pretty good. We put him on the bike on Thursday, and it was an easy decision to get out here, and, I told him he'll think about his shoulder a lot less if he gets a good start, so that's what he did. Super happy to see him out there. He's riding really good, so we got to keep these Husqvarnas up front.
All right, that's good stuff. Swole, game time decision. Up in the podium spots.
How is it having a manager like that? Nathan Ramsey, obviously pro circuit rider, then factory Honda rider. First rider on a Honda 4-stroke to ever win a Supercross main event. He won at Pontiac, Michigan. And, have somebody with that much, experience and knowledge to be your team manager. These guys are fortunate young riders.
Yeah, Swole taking the lessons there. This battle continues. Seth Hamaker not taking any gruff from your defending series champ. And now that Hunter Lawrence has dispatched of Romano, he's catching back up to Jed Lawrence.
You've got to wonder a little bit what's going through, Jed's head a little bit. Or maybe not, in Hunter, they won with relative ease last week, to be honest with you. They had a, comfortable race. Here they come with a lot of confidence, thinking, okay, we got this thing pretty well figured out. We're well into the moto now. I mean, we're 12 minutes into the moto, and they're still battling around for 5th and 6th place. So you wonder if they're a bit surprised.
Yeah, and not panic time, but they're definitely not overwhelming these guys. I mean, he has been behind Hamaker for several laps now. And look at Hunter sneaking in there. And Hamaker starting to catch Swole. So you almost get the feeling that something's going to change here, but just which direction is it going to go? 4-rider battle.
Well, they're certainly trying to mix it up, and that's a good move right there by Jet going outside in. He's got a lot of speed coming up this hill. Let's see if he can carry it all the way around for the pass.
Going to be the long way around for the number 1. Can he get a good drive out of this exit? He does.
Yeah, that was a pass. We talk about it nowadays in motocross, especially since the 4-stroke has been introduced. It almost takes 2 or 3 corners in a row in repetition to be able to set up a pass. It doesn't just happen instantaneously. And I don't know, Moseman got by Swole. And now he's getting by Justin Cooper.
Yeah, something has changed here. We'll find out the lap times next time around to see if Cooper had a problem and maybe had a bad lap. So just like that, we've got the local product. Said it's his home track, leading the way.
Now he's got some free, clear air ahead of him, and he's just going to be putting his ears back and going as fast as he can.
Listen to this crowd. They have realized that their favorite son has taken over the lead. Michael Moseman. JT, what are you hearing on the 29?
Well, this is his home track, as you mentioned, and this is one of the first places I ever saw him ride. I was watching Amateur Day several years ago, and he was going so fast on Amateur Day that I left the pro pits and came down here and watched him. So to see him out here leading this race, he's only 90 miles from his hometown, has to be a great feeling.
Thanks, JT. It's both things happen. Moseman just put in the best lap of anyone in this moto with a 2:09. As you see, Jet Lawrence setting up the pass here on Swole. So Moseman went from 2:12 to 2:09, but Cooper was turning 2:11s. He just turned to 2:14. So Cooper lost time. Moseman gained it. It was a 5-second differential on that lap alone, and that's allowing Moseman to pull away. But it looks like Jet Lawrence starting to make some moves here.
Yes, I mean, that was an impressive lap by Moseman. I mean, a 2:09, that's well 2 seconds faster than anyone's turned this whole race so far, and he did it nearly midway through the race.
And starting to open up a gap on Cooper. Now we are questioning Cooper's overall fitness. Lost almost 5 months of riding with a foot injury that took him out of Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Never even had a chance to race it. So we're wondering if the 30-minute distance is there for Cooper. Is he getting tired, or was that just a mistake? Give a couple more laps and we'll figure it out. Swole, he's been under pressure this entire moto. Now he's dealing with Hunter Lawrence.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Jet's on a little bit of a roll. He's within 3.5 seconds of the leader, Michael Moseman, and that's not what you want to see if you're in the gas camp.
No, Hunter's going with him as well. So right now it is Moseman, Cooper, Lawrence, Swole, and the other Lawrence. And that's the battle you're watching right now. Hunter's going to try to squeeze around the outside.
Yeah, Jalik's not going to give it up easily, but I tell you, Hunter looks really, really smooth. Good line selection, just good position on the bike. If you watch him, he looks very comfortable.
Halfway through this one, 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance by calling Geico. Hunter Lawrence just barely able to get to the top of that new step-up jump. Shout out to Seth Hamaker, who's still hanging with him. You can see him right behind. There he is. But the question is, can Jet make a run toward the front?
Yeah, that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team lost half of its riders at the very first round. Not what legendary tuner and team owner Mitch Payton wanted to see, but right now Seth Hamaker is making him forget about all that bad news. And
yes.
And we haven't even talked about Joe Shimoda, last week's third-place finisher. He was working his way up. I think he was back in about 11th the last time I saw him.
That's tough for him. Yes, they lost Cameron McAdoo, who crashed last week, as we continue to watch Swole and Hunter Lawrence battle it out. Oh, Hunter just able to make it happen for a little bit of contact.
Wow. Rubbing racing, right? That was good. He had a little double kiss there to kind of push him out of the way. If the first one didn't work, he made sure to block him out of there, give him a little extra shoulder shot. Okay,
then there's Swole, then Hamaker, then Hampshire, Volan, Romano, Shimoda, now rounding out the top 10. I'm watching Hunter Lawrence. Here's what I noticed. Jet gets around someone, is able to pull away. Hunter catches him immediately when he makes the pass. You know, we were talking about how smooth Hunter looked. Watching the two riders right now, it seems like Hunter's line selection, and just his overall position on the bike just looks a little bit more comfortable, a little better choice of the line. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we've all seen how fast Jet Lawrence can be, but Hunter's right now trying to get around the outside. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas as the brothers battle. Hunter got him, JT. Go ahead.
I'm watching Jet lose time here, which is way out of character for him, and you've just got to think that illness, whatever he's fighting, is starting to affect him. He was moving forward, and then all of a sudden it's like he hit a wall here, so it's going to be a really tough second half of the moto if that's the case.
Yeah, he had a cold coming into this race, had the sniffles. They didn't think it was anything super serious, but Hunter has absolutely eaten him up. Caught him quickly, passed him quickly, and now getting away quickly.
Yeah, this is Hunter just looks really good on the bike right now, and we talked about that. If he could just get a start, he had a great chance to win this thing. But you know, Jet is sliding back a little bit. Now we see that his distance between Michael Moseman is almost 5 seconds, so he did lose a couple seconds on that last lap to the leader.
Now Justin Cooper has settled back down. He had that bad lap of 2:14. He just ran a 2:12, so it must have been a mistake or a crash. He's running a solid pace, so it's still going to be a challenge. Hunter's taken over third from his brother. I don't know if he can get any further forward. What did you just see from Jet?
I just saw something I haven't seen in a while from Jet Lawrence, looking back over his shoulder. When a rider starts looking back over his shoulders, most people watching that have been involved in motocross, they understand what that means. That just psychologically means you're not paying attention, you're not focusing forward, and you're worried about who's going to pass you next.
All All right, that might be a sign that Jet is not feeling right now, and now he's worried about defense more than offense. This guy is all offense. Michael Moseman, what a ride.
Yeah, this would be just a moment in his career that he'll never forget. This ride is very good. We talked about the comfort there, talked about that in the pre-race show, that the two local riders. We haven't really seen much of Max Folan, and all of a sudden he somehow just showed up in 8th place. So got to look back and watch him. He's having a great ride too, right on the rear of RJ Hampshire.
Yeah, it's a good battle throughout the top 10, but right now it is Michael Moseman going for what would be his first career Moto win. Got his first main event win in Supercross earlier this year. To show you what this track is all about, got the GoPro cameras on those Red Bull Troy Lee Designs gas machines. This is Pierce Brown from qualifying earlier today with a GoPro course preview. This is where we head uphill, Brock, and you get to see just how taxing this is.
Yeah, for me, I just got a pure enjoyment the first few seconds there. It's like being at an F1 race and listening to the start, having those things turn all that RPM. But it's fun to listen to these 250s be wrung out by one of the top pros.
This was qualifying. We now hear Brown has crashed out of this first moto that's taking place right now. But his teammate is pulling away, almost a 7-second lead. Moseman, it took him a little while. We saw him experimenting with lines to get swollen, and something clearly has clicked.
Yeah, this is an impressive ride, this mid-moto here.
Oh, there's Brown.
Yeah, we heard, unfortunately, it looks like he did crash out of the race. The Asterisk Medical Unit, Hunter Lawrence fell over.
Oh, wow, so that'll change things. That's Hampshire right behind him. Hampshire is in 7th, so it is shaking up big time. This was Hunter's shot to make up some points on his brother, and he might have thrown those points away.
Was that the announcer curse because I talked about how smooth he was and how good he looked? I think it could have been. But, this track, that's one thing about Hangtown, and particularly today. Woo, a little wash out there right there on the front, pushing it to the end there with Michael Moseman. But this track, as it goes through the day, the ruts get deeper and deeper, and some of those ruts at the bottom get a little bit hard-packed and get a little slippery. And with the conditions we have today, which is fantastic, overcast skies and all, it's going to be a very challenging course. Second moto is going to be tough.
All right. Handling the first moto, though, is Michael Moseman. Even bigger lead now, almost 8 seconds over Justin Cooper. Try to figure out where Hunter Lawrence will land. He went from 3rd back to 6th. Jet Lawrence 3rd, Swole 4th, Hamaker 5th, and Michael Moseman headed for history, looking for his first career moto win in front of his home state fans. Beautiful view here, the Hangtown Motocross Classic 50th anniversary season of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, and what a way to get this day started. The home track specialist, Michael Moseman, he got the lead about halfway through this one. The crowd exploded. I talked to him this morning, and I said, do we consider this your home track? And he said, absolutely. Raced a ton of local races here. Now, sometimes the key is that the local track, they change it so much, especially with the soil prep, that it doesn't feel like the local track when you're here on the big pro national weekend. But he said, no, it does feel like the track I grew up on, and that's certainly helping.
Right now, we're definitely seeing the 7th and 8th place rider. You got Joe Shimoda and Max Folan kind of battling back and forth for the youngsters, and then you got Hunter Lawrence back working his way up from that tip over in 6th place. But Seth Hamaker, you got what do you see there?
It's amazing, right? So he had barely ridden motocross. He was really off the radar after a big injury in Supercross that cost him after the second race of the year. A lot of bike time. Fastest qualifier last week. You can get lucky once, right? But he was fast in the next session. He was fast in the first moto. He's fast again this week. I think you really have something brewing here. And you said that team needs it. They've lost Cameron McAdoo to injury, and now Austin Faulkner is back out with a recurring shoulder problem. So Hamaker's carrying the flag for them right now.
Yep, he and Joe Shimoda, the two riders that were kind of maybe the unlikely two leaders of the pro circuit team are now stepped up and they're carrying the flag.
Battle is on. Swole had his hands full with Hunter Lawrence earlier in this moto, and they're back.
It's Vuja Day all over again. It's like, hey, didn't I see you before?
Hunter had made the pass and went down, and he's salvaging some points, trying to get from 5th to 4th. What a ride from Swole. Again, they did not know if he'd be able to ride this weekend.
Gosh,
and he's looking for top 5.
He just looks really, really good. That's could be the shocker of the moto to me, honestly. I kind of expected Michael Moseman. We talked about it pre-show, that he would be a threat, and then to have Swole ride this well here. Again, he's a Florida boy. He's not supposed to do this.
Hunter's trying everything. He went from outside now to outside. Can he edge him out of the bottom of the hill? And that's what you're saying. You got to leave his brakes off and try to accelerate downhill.
You know, a little unknown secret. When I was a kid, I grew up racing Honda Elsinores, and I always dreamed about being Marty Smith's teammate and riding one of those fire engine red Hondas. And ever since they took this 250 team into in-house with the HRC bikes, those things just look. I just want to ride one. They look so. They look so good. I mean, they just look. Both of the Lawrence brothers look fantastic on them, but the bikes look good and they run good. Good effort by Team Honda.
Hey, we have 4 minutes and 2 laps left. We might see the two Hondas together again. Hunter's starting to close in again on his brother. Hey, you're watching live motocross here on MAV TV. Also, we collect and cover the ARCA Menards Series. It's the fastest short track on the planet, Iowa Speedway. ARCA Menards Championship Series fight is headed there. So watch the Calypso Lemonade 150 next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on MAV TV, Motorsports Network. So here we go. Lawrence brothers might be battling again as Hunter is trying to catch his brother Jet for the second time. He'd already made the pass and then he went down. And look, yeah, they're brothers, they're teammates, but this is a title fight.
Yeah, they are definitely battling. This is 24 individual races that make up the championship. We talk about overalls, and to me, for me personally, overalls didn't really mean anything. It's the motos, because those are the ones you earn your points, and that's what earns you the championship. So we've only got, I think, 4 laps, and there should be 4 laps left, and they're entering their 4th lap to go. So we'll see what happens. Moseman looks comfortable out there. Don't want to jinx him either, but it's going to be interesting to see if Hunter can actually make a run on his brother.
Now, he passed him earlier. This is for 3rd and 4th. You can see Hunter closing the gap. Jet came into this race. We had a cold. Nothing really, really serious, but it might have had an effect, or maybe not. You really don't want to draw too many conclusions from round 1 of a series. Things do change often drastically. You get to round 2. Obviously, Michael Moseman's a whole new man, and Justin Cooper has a lot more staying power today than he did last week when he went from leading the first moto to barely able to hold on for a top 10.
When you're struggling, when you're a little bit ill, you're not really physically up to it, and then we're fortunate the weather's not real hot, because when you have a cold and you're racing in the real hot temperatures like that, it can be really miserable. But remember, we're just in the first moto right here, so he has to come back out for the second moto in no time at all. And Caroli talked about that, how minimal time there is between motos. Jet Lawrence is going to have to come back out here and do this all over again. So if he's a little low on energy right now, it can really show up in the second moto.
Well, look, if anybody knows what his exact condition is, it's going to be his brother. Riders like to keep secrets from each other, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep secrets. So I've got to imagine Hunter also knows he's vulnerable, and this is an opportunity I've got to take advantage of.
I think you're exactly right. It's a good call on that, and it's he knows he has to push here. He's got to catch up to his brother and try to make a move, because these are points that matter. These are a couple points that could come down to the end of the championship.
Justin Cooper hanging strong in second. We'll give you the split screen here with our Thor battle box so we can keep up with all the action. That is your leader, Michael Moseman, trying to get his first career moto win. Probably going to be 2 to 3 laps to go here, depending on when he hits the finish line. The countdown clock almost expired.
Yep, we got about 1 minute left, so he's going to do a full lap. And with the 2:15-ish lap times, he's got 3 to go.
And then you can watch the Thor battle box, give you an idea of this battle, which is the Lawrence brothers. Hunter's just inching up, getting a little closer every time we see him.
Yeah, he's definitely closing in now. It's easier to be, not a little pun intended there, but it is easier to be the hunter, than it is the hunted.
Yes, he's going to take advantage of that. Yeah, he's on the hunt right now, is Hunter. Gap almost down to nothing. Now look, Hunter's had to make enough passes in this moto. He's got to know where some of the alternate lines are. He's had to work his way forward once already.
Yes, absolutely. And as the race continues on, more lines develop, and Hunter's had to visit just about every one of them, I think.
All right, so the hunt is on for the final podium spot. Justin Cooper all alone in second, and Michael Moseman trying to get his first career victory. Now this is the battle behind. It's a 3-rider duel. Swole, Hamaker, and Shimoda is now in the picture.
And I think Shimoda might have made the pass on Hammacker there. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell on the screen, but hey, 2 green bikes up there. That's got to make Mitch Payton happy over at the Pro Circuit camp. And then Jalik Schwoll is really, we talked about, putting in a heck of a ride for a boy from Florida and just coming through here. So
Schwoll went wide. I thought the pass was made. He was just able to hold on as you continue to watch Hunter and Jet Lawrence battle. and the left side of this Thor battle box. This is great stuff here. Now that we have the drone camera, we can give you the split screens. Swole, he has ridden very well under pressure today, although every time you think they made the pass, he's able to hold it. There it is, the mistake that Shimoda needed.
Yep, there it was. As soon as Shimoda got the rear wheel on the ground, got the power to the ground, got able to squirt past him. But that is the same corner that Hunter Lawrence tried multiple times on Jalek there and was not able to successfully make the pass. This section right here is getting tricky. This is the new uphill. That's 3 stories up easily and around the old legendary oak tree at the top of the hill there. But it's that's a big elevator. It's like hitting the button on a high-rise elevator.
And I'm noticing they're not really cleaning the backside of that jump. They're kind of slapping down, hitting pretty hard.
And it's completely blind when the bottom of it's just like a step up. When I first saw this yesterday,
Swole
no,
goes down.
Cross-rutted, it looked like at the base of that wall.
He put the hands up because he's in a blind jump there. He just wants to make sure everybody knows he's down. Man, what a great moto he had going, and now it's going to be tough to even cling to the top 5. It was him and Hamaker who came together.
Yeah, you could see on the side of that jump, that is a face like a wall jump that we see in Supercross. And there you can see right, oh boy, completely tangled and cross-rutted. Come together off the old finish line jump. Oh, yeah, he gets into the rut, a little bit of a cross rut, and looks like they had contact, and then Jalek Swole, the handlebars yanked out of his hand. But that jump is just like a Supercross wall jump, and you can see the flagger on the side. He was really just almost hanging on the side of that hill. It's a lot steeper than it appears on the screen.
Jet Lawrence digging down deep. Hunter got to him about a lap and a half ago, but has not been able to get any closer, and now we are within 2 laps to go. So this is going to be an all-out sprint. Jet going to leave it all out on the track in an attempt to hold his brother off.
Yeah, he's got a lap and a half basically to hold him off right here, and I think that's got to be in his tank, but Hunter's not going to settle unless he really pushes real hard. Obviously, he wants this pass, but it is his brother, so he's probably going to have a little bit less aggression if it does come to that, later in the lap.
Yeah, we might not see the contact we just saw from Hamaker and Swole, and that's the way Hunter's going to have to play it here. It's the last battle on the track after Shimoda and Hamaker made their way by Swole. Levi Kitchen did not see him off the start. He's been struggling mightily off the gate in the early season, but he is up to 7th ahead of Volan Swole after he picked himself up 9th. And Romano is 10th, and white flag is going to be in sight here.
Yep, we've got a lapped rider in between the 2 Lawrence brothers right now. It's just exactly what Jet was needing. So they're coming around. You can see our leader, Michael Moseman, taking the white flag, and this is just what he'd hoped for. Have a nice, comfortable lead. It's, kind of down to 5.6 seconds there, 6 seconds here. It's a little bit, maybe Cooper's gaining, or let's see lap times. Looks like Moseman might have slipped back a little bit, but it's enough. I'd like to have a 5-second lead leading the last lap. How about you?
Well, you've got to imagine he's managing it a little bit, right?
Yeah, he is. He knows he's got another moto ahead of him. At this point right now, you do manage your energy output, and then you've got to get ready for that second moto. So you're not going to lay it all on the line for no reason if you've got a 5-second lead.
Hunter is pushing Jet, and because of that, they have started to close the gap on Justin Cooper. I don't know if there'll be enough time for them to get him, but they can see him up ahead with a half a lap to go. So Jet's definitely stepped up the game under fire here.
He has, and you're heading up the big uphill right here. That's quite a little pop right there, that double. It doesn't look that long on camera, but it's a pretty good shot.
As they come back downhill, again, 2 laps ago, it looked like the pass was inevitable.
You see how rough that's getting? Look at that, Jason. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since it was earlier in the day. So here it is, final stretch run. Michael Moseman looking for his first career moto win. Justin Cooper, the team said the goal was to beat Jet in at least 1 moto today. They almost have it done with the checkered flag almost in sight, and Hunter's not giving up on it for 3rd.
No, actually, Hunter used that lapped rider to his advantage. It just made Jet check up a little bit, and then look at his jump to the inside. Look at that alternative line. That's a nice line he just found. See, that's what experience that Hunter has. He's just a good line selector, just a quarter.
I did not see that line.
No, quarter lap. He found a line where there wasn't one, but he's got a quarter lap left, and he's trying to get it, and Jet's knows he's only got a quarter lap. He's just going to hold him off.
And Cooper, who is on cruise control, just trying to bring it home for 2nd. They are closing and closing and closing on him, but there's only about 3 corners left in this one. Michael Moseman looking for his first ever moto win. Great battle, I would say now, for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They've got Cooper in sight. But here it is, one corner away. Home race and first ever Moto win for Michael Moseman.
There's a tip of the hat right there. Good job. And then right here we see the Lawrence brothers coming across in third and fourth. And then I think we're waiting for Joe Shimoda, right?
Hunter's got to be bummed. He had made his way up to third and was going to try to make a run at Cooper, and then he tipped over. And in the end is going to have to settle for fourth. Good battle down the stretch between the Lawrences